Welcome back. It's the Big Blue Banter New York Giants football podcast. I'm Dan Schneider, joined as always my co-host Nick Filato. And Nick, obviously, anyone joining us is well aware of what went down today. Arguably, if not the most devastating loss the Giants have suffered since the Deshaun Jackson punt return game. And, we'll get into everything, all the reasons they lost the game. That's what this podcast is going to be about. And I bet any fan who listens to any Giants podcast tonight or tomorrow morning will be hearing the same things. But I just want to take a moment to just discuss how really painful it is, and in so many ways, exhausting and painful, to not get to come on here and talk about everything else that happened in this game.
Right.
Dude. Like, there was a dominant effort and dominant game by the Giants for most of this game. We were getting to the point of saying, okay, they're 3-4 now. They literally dominated a Broncos team in Denver. They beat up an Eagles team the week before that. Where could this season go, and what could this team be? And could there be a team that not only has a chance to make the wild card spot, but make noise in the playoffs? And now when you look at it, just, 8 minutes after that, the Giants had a 99.7% chance to win at one point in that game with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Up the amount they were up. Now it's 2-5. There's no way the Giants are going to, the best case scenario is the Giants lose only 4 more games the rest of the year, which is not enough to get into the playoffs. So the playoffs are actually totally done almost, unless the Giants do something unthinkable. But with this coaching staff, we know they're going to lose random games anyway, like this one and like the Saints one. And the feel is just so different. Like, they dominated that football game. They looked like a damn good team. Everyone was excited about. I was texting everybody. We were going nuts. Like, this team looked freaking good. But now none of that matters. And it happened, Nick, but it doesn't really matter that it happened because they found a way to lose a game that no team should ever lose.
They found a way to lose a game. They were up by 19, but then they were up by 18, in the fourth quarter, right, Dan? And 4 consecutive touchdowns. You have Jude McAtamney miss his second extra point. And at that moment, I was like, there's no way Shane Bowen and this defense is going to be able to stop the Denver Broncos. They're going to drive down the field. Will Lutz is going to kick a game-winning field goal, and we're going to be sitting here saying that was one of the most epic collapses I have ever witnessed, and that's exactly what transpired. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And I'm at a loss of words at this point for just how creative the New York Giants are at finding ways to lose football games. And I'm glad you opened the show the way you did, Dan, because we should be applauding the New York Giants for that effort, but they just find a way to fumble it. It doesn't matter how certain. And in this game, Dan, they had me. I thought the Giants had this game. I thought the Giants were turning a corner. I feel like a clown.
Same.
I feel like I have a big red nose on my face, a white makeup, all that. So I feel like a freaking clown because I thought the Giants had this because there was only 5 minutes left in the football game when Bo Nix rushed in that second touchdown and the Giants still have a 10-point lead. And then Jackson Dart threw that interception because the Giants didn't run the football. Look, we're not in this situation a lot, Dan, as Giant fans, having a lead and preserving a lead late in the fourth quarter. But I would have preferred Mike Kafka to just run the football on that 3rd and short, on that 3rd and 4. Because if he did, the Broncos would have burned their final timeout and the Giants would have punted the football back to Denver, and then they would have had to drive all the way down the field against the Giants defense that hasn't yet crumbled. And that would have been, I think, a much more advantageous situation for the Giants to win a football game. But they got cute and they put the football into a rookie quarterback's hand who was playing well up until that point, and he threw an interception off the simulated pressure. And that was one of the many errors that this coaching staff made. And what is up with this team, Dan? Just this kicking fiasco it's insane at this point. I don't even know how to quantify it or what to say about it, but this kicking situation has cost the New York Giants, 3 or 4 games through the Brian Daboll era? 2 games this year? Because Graham Gano can't stay healthy and the Giants can't locate or identify, or if they do, they still promote, because you have Younghoe Koo on the practice squad, they still promote the wrong guy who ends up missing these kicks. It's just unfathomable at this point, man.
Yeah, and it goes deeper than that as far as the kicker situation specifically, because the Giants kicked back the cap on Graham Gano's contract, I believe last year or the year before, to try to create space. And it was just a shit contract by Gettleman to begin with, unnecessary. We don't need to you don't need to go nuts resigning kickers. And then definitely don't kick it back for an older player like Gano with an injury history. And so they couldn't get out of that deal. So they're just sitting here with him under contract. They had to run it back for another year, despite the age and despite the fact that he's injured now 2 years in a row. Graham Gano, he'll be cut. He won't be a kicker next year. Obviously, neither will Jude. Jude probably won't be the kicker next week. But what does that do for us? Nothing. Nothing. It doesn't help after the fact. And that's the problem. There's every time this type of thing happens, the situation comes up, Nick, it's always after the fact the Giants make the correction, but it's never beforehand. And, there's a lot of reasons they lost this game. Jude and his missed extra points are definitely a big part of the reason. What you said earlier, you didn't have faith the Giants defense could stop the Broncos after scoring that touchdown. I'll say this. I was screaming from my TV, like I was hoping that Dart didn't reach that football in. And I know they scored. My dad was rooting for it. I was watching my pops tonight. I wasn't, because I was like, I want to burn clock and I don't want to give them the football back, but not because I didn't think they could win. The Giants can stop them. Giants stopped the Denver Broncos all effing game until the fourth quarter. They had 0 points, but they stopped them with a different defensive strategy. And as you saw at the end of the game, Brian Burns walking out of that stadium, I'm sure some people have seen this video, as angry as I've ever seen any Giants player get caught on camera, screaming about how the hell did we drop 8? Why are we dropping 8 and rushing 3? And it's not only the fact that they dropped 8 and rushed 3 on that big play to set up the final scoring drive, that 25-yarder that started. It's that they came in with an absolutely absurd personnel package. Brian Burns, Roy Robertson Harris, and Kayvon Thibodeau were the 3 pass rushers on that play. They had Dexter Lawrence off the field, and after the game, according to Dan Duggan, he said, it was not my call to not be on the field for that play. Then what the hell? Who the hell's call is that? Shane Bowen's? What the hell are you doing? Put your best player on the field for the final drive at all times. But instead, what did we do? We put on extra safety. Bo Braid, Nubin Belton, and Nick Jones were on the field for that play, and they're sitting there, and we're wondering why rushing 3 and dropping 8 is going to work when that's the 8 you drop. That's the 8 you drop on that play. Of course it's not going to work. We don't have guys who get into zones. He's like, we have played 2 robbers. These guys aren't making plays as robbers, these safeties. All that's going to happen when you do that is that type of play. But all game, the Giants are playing different against Knicks. All game, they were understanding, and give the Broncos credit. They went up tempo. Like, that changes the defensive looks. Yeah. I get that. But all game it was a different game plan until the end, when, as usual, Shane Bowen gets in his bag and decides to take Dexter Lawrence off the field for Bo Braid. Bo, you know what? Braid. And that's how I feel about him being on the field for that, and Nick Jones for that play. No offense to either of them. But of course, why would they be expected to make a play there, dropping 8?
Yeah, I don't know why they would be. It seems like anytime Shane Bowen finds himself in this situation, sans or without or other than the Chargers game, he blows it. Like, he blows it. And we've been about this for a while, right? Like, Shane Bowen, he's not the guy. The Giants are stomaching the fact that they have Shane Bowen as their defensive coordinator, and people will be like, "Well, he was able to shut the Broncos out for the the Giants' talented roster is able to shut the Broncos, and the Broncos, they were." Yeah, in this game, they were terrible in this game. They're doing victory laps right now, and I'm like, yeah, you guys came back and like, good for you, but you guys were just terrible for 75% of that game. The Broncos were trying to give the Giants the football game at the end when Jackson Dart did have that rushing touchdown, because they were committing penalty after penalty of Sean Payton running to like the 3-yard line, taking another penalty. They're just doing dumb shit.
Actually probably hurt the Giants too, by the way.
Yeah, from a time perspective, maybe it was his grand plan there, right? But no, the Giants just can't get out of their own way. And then when you have a defensive coordinator like that making decisions like that to take a Dexter Lawrence off the football field for Bo Braid, as you so eloquently put just seconds ago, Dan, it's not good. It's not a good thing, and you could just see the frustration is boiling up with players like Brian Burns and Kayvon Abdul and all these guys, man. And they played one hell of a game for most of the game, but the fourth quarter was one of the worst quarters in, I don't even know.
Worst quarter besides the Deshaun Jackson one.
It seems hyperbolic to say football history, but right now in this moment, that's what it seems like. That's what it feels like. One of the worst quarters you'll see in so damn long.
Yeah, and it just feels to me on the first point like these players do not have faith in Shane Bowen right now, because 2 weeks ago they're like, yeah, we got on him and we said we got to do some different things, and then it's like this week they asked Dex in the locker room, they asked Burns after the game about Texas. The dropping, and they didn't defend their defense coordinator. They didn't say anything bad about him. Obviously, they're not stupid. They understand what they have to do as players in the NFL, but they didn't defend him either. There's been no defense of him. The only defense we got was them being like, yeah, we got on his ass and we told him we have to play different, like, and then they started to do it. Like, that's not like, and he goes right back into his old ways in this game. Shane Bowen. It's like we're trying to protect. It's not just Bowen, though. I feel like this whole coaching staff, coaches scared. I've been saying this for years. I said it in 2022 when we went 3-7-1 in that stretch before basically limping into the playoffs by getting to play the Viking, whatever that was. And I've been saying it since. Like Dable's a bigger culprit to me because I have a different opinion than you on I get it on the 3rd and 5. I'm open to the idea of just running there, but I hated those last 2 possessions of run, pass. All game, Jackson Dart was finding solutions on 3rd downs, on 1st down, on 2nd down. Run your normal offense. Run your goddamn normal offense. When you go into that run, pass, and it's just everyone lined up, and it's an inside run, and the entire defense is there, you get into 3rd and 8 and 3rd and 5 twice. Like, run your fucking normal offense there. Try to get 1st down. Try to win the game. You win the game by getting just 2, 3 1st downs on either of those drives. The game's over. They won't have enough time. But that wasn't their thought there. It was not their thought. You cannot argue it was their thought there to try to get 1st downs to win their game. Their thought was, let's burn clock. Let's burn clock. Let's burn clock. Same with Bowen and playing his defense. It's all about burning clock until guess what? They have enough clock to win the game.
Yeah, I strongly disagree with you here. I think
that's fine.
It was 100% a mistake to have Jackson Dart throw on 3rd and 5 with less than 5 minutes.
I'm not talking necessarily about 3rd and 5, though. I am fine with him throwing on 3rd and 5.
It's all no. Well, the 3rd and 5 is irrelevant. It's all situational. You have them burn that timeout. You punt the football away. They're gonna have to drive the field. The clock is going to be just trickling down at that point. Arguably, they would have to get an onside kick unless the Giants were to fumble their ensuing play away, a play on their ensuing drive. If you were able to punt the football back to a timeout list,
it would have been over from a time standpoint there on that situation. Actually, I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that for sure. I don't believe that. I've run out of belief of that, Nick, because of the Cowboys game and because of this game. I want you going for 1st downs, and maybe the 3rd down is fine, but I don't like the 1st and 2nd down calls.
But the only reason why I'm saying this, though, Dan, is because of the 10-point lead the Giants had. That's a 2-possession lead. Again, we don't experience this a lot. We don't have 2-possession leads late in the 4th quarter. So it's a little bit different than previous situations that we found ourselves in. Like with the Dallas game, that was like a back and forth ping pong match of just scoring and taking the lead. This was the Giants had a comfortable lead, less than 5 minutes left. Have them burn that timeout. See if you could pick it up. You're probably not. Just punt the football back. And then they have to drive the entire field and then have to get the football back to get in a field goal range just to tie it up. There's a lot of, I think you would have given yourself, if you were the New York Giants, a longer leash there if you did that instead. And look, I like that they trusted this rookie quarterback, but the rookie quarterback made a rookie quarterback mistake and threw directly into a simulated pressure where Justin Strnad was just standing there. And it's unfortunate, but that's you're on the road here. This is the same rookie quarterback who I think played well. This is no knock on Jackson Dart whatsoever. Same rookie quarterback who turned the football over several times against the Saints. And I don't even blame him for those, but it's just the sheer fact that he is a rookie. And I think the coaches could have put the rookie into a better position to succeed if they just ran the football there, had Sean Payton burn the timeout and punt the football back. That's my
get it. It's very possible you're right from a time standpoint. I just am never going to subscribe to this way of coaching and way of being a team. I don't think you're ever winning championships when you get into these situations the Giants have been in constantly in the Brian Daboll era, where it's so tight in the 4th quarter with a lead. It's all about burning clock. It's all about limiting possessions. It's never about going out and winning the football game, because that's not how it feels to me when you line up on 1st and 2nd down. Or the 3rd down, I'll give you that. At that point, you've given up the drive. I'm fine with that at that point, I guess. Just run the clock and get out of there, I guess. But the 1st and 2nd down shit, there are creative ways to get the football moving on 1st and 2nd down in those spots that don't put the ball in harm's way, in my opinion. Bubble screens, different type of quick game concepts. There are other options to just line up right in front of everyone, put the entire defense, tell the defense exactly what you're doing and say, I am running inside twice in a row for 1 yard and 1 yard on that second possession. They got 5 yards on the possession before. It's just how I'm going to always be with this team. And it's not just that. It's all the coaching mistakes, man. When you let up that completion on that final drive by the Broncos and Brian Burns is running because he's to get onside and you have a timeout in your pocket, the good coaches are going to call a timeout there. Brian Daboll, not even a consideration, not even on top of his game ever with those things. He never gives us that kind of an advantage, ever. Was there a timeout call? No, we took the offsides. And it's just those types of things. In addition to coaching scared, I felt like they coached scared the entire 4th quarter to me. You just don't come off to me looking like a team that is trying to win the game. You look like a team that's trying to not lose.
Yeah, but I don't know how he coached. I agree with the coach scared predominantly what you're saying here, but not on that 3rd and 5, though. I mean, that you would say that was the aggressive coaching
run
style that
pass to
you're
me is coaching scared, even if you do go pass on third down. It's just a bad. It's tipping off your plan, and it's coaching scared. You're right. It's coaching insanely scared to just go run, and be like, well, we'll just give the ball back. We ran off a minute and a half there, or whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and let's bring up another another person of interest here, and that is, holy crap, when Paulson Adebo got injured. Like, talk about an indispensable player who's not even that great. Like, Paulson Adebo, we've been saying, like, yeah, he's better than I think people understand, but he's indispensable to this team because when he is not there, Tay Banks has to go into the game, and Tay Banks is one of the biggest liabilities I have ever seen on defense. Again,
in the run game,
again, Dan, again, yes. And what did the Broncos do when he got out there? Oh, we're running the football right at
just takes that inside step every time.
It was a great crack toss call. You isolate a tackle, Garrett Bowles, big guy, against Deonte Banks, and Tay Banks goes, you know what? I'm going to try to undercut this and match the little head shimmy that Bo Nix gave me and just give the outside to Bo Nix for a touchdown run. Like, this guy just cannot be on the football field. No. You cannot trust Tay Banks out there. Yes, he can stay on you in man coverage. That's about all you can trust him with. That's about all you can trust him with. And there's so much more to football, and he just does not have the football IQ to play this sport every down. He just doesn't. And hopefully Paulson Adebo is not that injured, because that would be a devastating loss. But again, here we are at 2-5 when the Giants could have won so many of these games. They were in these games, but they just find ways to lose.
Not even in these games. They dominated this game.
They dominated this one. This one they dominated. The Cowboys game was a winnable game as well. Like, there were and then you had the
Saints is just a joke of turnovers.
The Chiefs game they lost, but they didn't have a kicker because Graham Gano got hurt during pregame. Like, so many things just always seem to afflict the Giants, and the Giants just can't get out of their own damn way, which is a sign of a bad football team, which we've been saying ad nauseum at this point for so long.
Typically, it's a sign of a sorry, my bad.
No, you're good, buddy.
I was gonna say, typically it's a sign of a bad, poorly coached team. The fact that they can win this game based on the players playing and them getting leads and not finishing the games, that's enough to see that this is not a well-coached team. Not just individually with Shane Bowen, but overall with Brian Daboll. Like, they don't win games with this guy. And this year last year they have the excuse of, we're down to our third string quarterback. What do you expect from us? And Andrew Thomas is out, blah, blah, blah. What do you expect from us? This year, there's none of that. Like, yes, I agree with you. Losing Paulson, like, there is a side story in this game. It's that Paulson Adebo and Holland went out, and that really impacted the defense, especially Paulson Adebo, like you said. But you know what? Other teams have a lot of injuries, and they've been a lot more injured than the Giants. So it just is the Giants have plenty of talent on the field to win these football games, as we've gone over. They should have won the Saints game. They should have won this game at the very minimum. So at the very minimum, they should be a 4-3 team.
It's on a coaching staff to preserve a lead when you have that lead. And yes, the coaching staff helped the Giants get that lead along with their players. But football is, you have to play the entirety of the game, right? You can't just play 75% of the game and then just roll over and lay down. That's not how you win football games. And credit to the Broncos. 25% of that game, they just dialed it up, and the Giants couldn't match it. The Giants were outmatched physically on the football field and from a coaching perspective. And you could just sense the momentum switch, right? Especially after that Bo Nix touchdown run with Tay Banks. That was the one I think that brought the score to 3 points. But even before that, when RJ Harvey caught the touchdown, you're like, uh-oh, what's going on here? And then the Giants match it, right? The Giants match it. The Giants scored 14 points in the fourth quarter with an 18-point lead and still lost. It's insane. This is what was the stat? It was like 1,000 and it was
62 games, 1,062 games.
1,062 games with a team that had an 18-point lead in the fourth quarter. They would end up winning that football game with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Giants had that, and the Giants ended up losing. Or maybe it was 6 minutes left, but you get it. Like, the Giant, like, this is such a historic and unique loss that it just seems like only the New York Giants and possibly the New York Jets would find a way to suffer.
Yeah, the teams were 1,062-0 when leading by 18 with 6 minutes left. So clearly the Deshaun Jackson game doesn't go in factor in that. So this is worse than that from a mathematical standpoint, though I know Giants fans will argue, and they're correct in arguing that game was worse collapse because it was for the playoffs in the division, which I totally respect and agree with. But now they are 1,062-1. Brian Dable being that one loss. And I'm not putting it all on him, but he sure as hell is a part of it for me because A, he's the coach of this team. B, I strongly believe he coaches scared. And just this is how he's been his entire time. We talked about it for years. We've talked about this every year of his entire coaching tenure with the New York Giants. But again, all the other factors come into play. McAtamney, whatever the hell you pronounce his name, I don't know and I don't care. And I hope he's cut next tomorrow. Sorry for him. He's a professional. I feel bad. I don't care. You're done. You are done here. And that's it. And I don't have to pronounce your name ever again. But misses 2 extra points. The injuries in the secondary obviously are a big thing. Defense giving up all those points. Defense rushing 3, dropping 8, not playing the way they played all game. The Giants coaching scared on offense. There's tons of factors. Jackson Dart's interception, but that's the one I want to touch on because it's really frustrating to me. I've seen a lot of fans in my replies blaming this game on Jackson Dart for that one play. And it's just like, did you not watch the whole football game? Do you not understand that if Jackson Dart didn't play this game, we have no chance to beat the Broncos? Do you not understand if Russell Wilson is in this game, we have no chance to beat the Broncos? Do you not understand that if our trio of quarterbacks were playing last year, we'll leave Jones out of the guys after him were playing, we would have no chance to win this? Because that's the reality. This guy converted a 4th and 19. Does anyone remember that? And he ended the game a massive 4th and 19 to Wan'Dale. How about his pass to Bellinger for a touchdown? That was phenomenal. How about all of the conversions he converted early in the game? He was moving the football. I think he had what? How many yards did he have? 300 passing yards or 280 something? With a bunch rushing. 283 with a bunch rushing and 4 total touchdowns. Like this game isn't a game without him playing. So don't blame him. He had one bad play, and it was a really bad play. And I'll be honest, that last drive, we got bailed out by a pretty bullshit PI, in my opinion.
I agree.
I don't really believe that was a PI, but whatever they called it. And he didn't really look good on that drive. But he's like, what is he supposed to do? He's like, got 50 seconds left. He's just basically hurling up deep passes at that point. Hyatt couldn't run one of them down. The other, he kind of threw into double coverage and almost got picked. But I mean, like, that was the end of the game.
And it's nuts that they still found a way to win, and then the Giants still found a way to lose, or still found a way to score, and then the Giants still found a way to lose. That's like what's so frustrating about it. And yeah, 283. The Giants were 8 of 17 on 3rd and 4th down. And you're right, man. Jackson's
pretty damn good. Like
Jackson Dart had several like really like high level throws in this game early on.
Right.
A few to Daniel Bellinger, a few to Wan'Dale Robinson. I felt like Wan'Dale Robinson played phenomenally. And look who else Jackson Dart is throwing the football to. He like Daniel Bellinger was his star, and Wan'Dale Robinson. There was no other receiver that had a catch in this game. I think little Jordan Humphrey had like 2 targets, 0.
You're right.
Jalen Hyatt 1, 0. Bo Collins, almost an interception when Jackson Dart targeted him. Not necessarily that was Bo Collins' fault. It was just the end of the game, and he was tossing it up. But there's no other receivers. Like Jackson Dart scored led this offense to 33 points or 32 points.
Right.
Like that's the most that a team has scored against this Broncos team. And this is
without anybody to throw to, really, a receiver.
Look, there's like great takeaways from this game that we could glean, but there are no moral victories with this type of loss. This is disgusting. It's sickening. But Jackson Dart played well in this game against a very formidable defense. That interception was backbreaking, yes, but you can't lay this at the feet of the kid here, Jackson Dart.
Totals 4 touchdowns against one of the best defenses in their house. Like no one does this against them.
Dude, they only allowed 6 touchdowns, I think, on the season heading into this game.
Yes, they only had 6 touchdowns on the season. Giants scored 4. Of course, they don't have all the points to show for it because their kicker couldn't make 2 extra points.
And that's another thing
for
too.
2 on one of them.
Again, they converted their 2 point. They converted their 2 2-point conversions, right? We didn't convert our 2-point conversions that we were forced to try and attempt because Jude missed the early one. The Giants were up 13. So it's so frustrating. Then we had to go up 19-0 because we missed that 2-point.
When it should have just been 21. Yeah.
And all those points obviously end up mattering.
Who knows the Broncos are even going to go for 2?
And then when you can rectify it, Dan, you miss with 37 seconds left to get the field goal. It's like, this is inexcusable. And look, man, on a human level, I feel bad for you maybe, but like, you're just done. You're not an NFL kicker, obviously. Like, you got to go at this point.
He's a backup kicker at Rutgers. What are we doing playing him over Koo, who has NFL experience? Yes. And by the way, Koo's taken 120 extra points in his career, and he's missed 3. Koo. So I don't want to hear it about, oh, yeah, this guy won it in practice. He looked a little better in practice. Play the guy who's played in NFL games. Younghoe Koo has played in NFL games in real big moments, not at Rutgers as your backup Rutgers kicker. He was playing in NFL games, making big kicks for a while. Younghoe Koo was one of the most accurate kickers in the entire NFL. He's gone through a rough stretch. I don't care. He doesn't miss extra points. This idiot does. So enough. And he did it last week.
Yes. And he did it last week. And again, of course, he does it this week twice, and it costs you the football game. It's just
Yeah, Novell, I know Coe was let go by the Falcons for a reason. He was kicking. Obviously, he was missing kicks for them. So what? He's been in a million games. This McAtammy is not. Play the guy who has experience. And by the way, he has a much better extra point track record than Jude McAtamnamney. I don't even know how to pronounce his name, and I just don't care. I just don't care anymore.
Well, yeah. Again, you probably won't have to anymore. This is what a loss, though. Just what a creative, inventive loss.
It's exhausting with this team, man. They just ruin our Sundays. This team should be so much better than what they are. They finally have talent and a good young quarterback who's playing well, but they just can't close out games, and they can't win games they're supposed to win. This game was not a game they're supposed to win, but sure as hell, after they started dominating the game, they should have won the game. And same thing goes for the Saints. They were a better team than the Saints, but they lost that game too. The Giants have scored 30 points this year 3 times, Nick. Do you remember the days when we couldn't even crack 25, let alone 30? I don't think what did we score? Like, how many times did we even score 30 in the Brian Daboll era before this? I can't remember too many. There was the Colts game, and that's about it, probably. Maybe one more that I'm forgetting. They've done it 3 times this year, but somehow, despite scoring 33 times this year after doing it maybe once in the entire Jones-Daboll era, they lost 2 of those 3 games, scoring 30 plus. How is that even possible? Honestly.
Some defensive meltdowns among many coaching errors and
kicking
some offensive mistakes, and then a bunch of kicking errors. It's, we talked a lot about complimentary football last week because it was a complimentary win over the Philadelphia Eagles. This was a complimentary loss, even though the Giants had them. They were en route to a complimentary.
It wasn't even like a complimentary loss. It was a complimentary collapse.
It was a collapse.
They didn't play bad the whole game. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, they played amazing for 3.5 quarters. So it's more just like, it's like a complimentary loss. I feel like the whole game they kind of would have been losing, Nick, and playing dumb.
This is just the fourth quarter.
Just a half of a fourth quarter. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, and almost a half of the fourth quarter. And again, it's mind-boggling, man. It's mind-boggling.
And it's so sad, dude, because the minute we had the play with Wan'Dale Robinson where it tipped off his hand, which is a good throw that he kind of just dropped, and that goes on, and then it went right into Theo Johnson's hand and he housed it for a touchdown. My brother texted me like, this is what happens, like when teams turn the corner, like we finally get moments like this, because we've had so many bad moments, and like it really felt like we were turning the corner, in my opinion, after that play. And no, we didn't. Like, we just didn't turn the corner, man. And like, now they're 2-5. It's just such a disgrace.
The Tyrone Tracy Jr. run and then the Theo Johnson touchdown. I thought they were both going to be like daggers, right? Like daggers for a Broncos team that was hapless at that point, for a Broncos team that seemed checked out. Again, the Broncos offensively, I don't know what they were doing at the start of this game. At the start of this game, it was, we're not even going to run the football. We're not going to, dude, but like, why not lean on the run a little bit? They didn't even try really to run. They just kept throwing to the flat and throwing bubbles, and credit to Cordell Flott and Drew Phillips and players. They were rallying and making those tackles. It's unfortunate that Drew Phillips, like, he's been exposed a lot this year, and he was a culprit down the stretch of the game with a lot of just little dumb mistakes, not just the coverage lapses, but also Evan Ingram makes like what would be a 5-yard catch. You just shove him out of bounds, right? Knock him out of, no, instead you kind of like,
it was crazy bad.
Like, it didn't seem like that great of an effort, to be honest. And Evan Ingram picks up like an extra 12 yards.
He thought he was just going out of bounds. He missed. That's the stupid, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was an effort issue or just like he played that
hanging out with Tay Banks too much, man.
Yeah. It might have been. What did you say? Oh, on the first, like, honestly, like, I just think the problem with the Broncos offense until they obviously scored 33 in the fourth quarter, which, by the way, Nick, I just found this out. Shout out to WBG84. All the Giants do is make history in the worst of ways. The Giants are one of 4 teams now that have allowed 33 plus in the fourth quarter in the history of the NFL. One of those teams was the 1925 Milwaukee Badgers, a team I never even knew existed until today. Quite frankly, the Broncos had a 0.7% chance to win with 6:38 left in the fourth quarter. They had a 4th and 3. Like, we actually had to stop. They had to convert a 4th down.
We had a game like this recently, didn't we? When the Giants were favored to win by 99% and they ended up blowing.
Yeah, I don't remember which that is, but you're definitely.
So somebody in the chat help us out, because I remember I think it was over the last 2 years. I'm not sure if it was last year. The Giants were really bad last year.
Might have been.
But yeah, it's watching the collapse was like a slow a quiet comprehending of how this is going to just like how the Giants are going to end up blowing this. But I didn't think it like right
I didn't
away.
think
Like
of
I
it
said,
like
dude.
that, man. I really didn't. I
You
had a
didn't?
different thought on this
No, no,
game.
no. I'm saying like for me personally, I thought the Giants were going to be okay up until probably that Bo Nix touchdown run when they made it a
Same.
3-point game. And then I was like, that's not good.
Even
Like,
after Jackson Dart's pick, I thought we'd be fine, honestly. And I thought we get a stop. We didn't get any stops at the end there. That was one of the biggest
not
problems.
one.
And a lot of it just it didn't really feel like Bo Nix was lighting them up through the air. It was just he had a good running play. They had a couple plays, like you said, where they just didn't tackle well and didn't play it well. To me, I'll say this just from my evaluation of this game and this season. I'm definitely happy we passed on Bo Nix in the 2024 draft.
Yeah, man. Jackson Dart.
I think Jackson Dart looks like a better player to me. Bo Nix literally can't throw a football unless he's moving on a bootleg or throwing quick dart slants and screens. Like his accuracy on the deep passes is horrific, which is, by the way, more reason for Shane Bowen not to drop 8 and rush 3 on that play. Challenge the quarterback. Put guys on the goddamn line of scrimmage, man.
Especially after what happened in Dallas, man.
Yeah.
Especially after
what are you doing, dude? The whole first 3 quarters of the game, he understood how to stop Bo Nix. And then he just changed his plan because of the time in the game and how much time was left. That is never good coaching, man. It just never is.
Dude, 2 weeks ago, we talked about how frustrated the Giants defense was. They seemed like, I mean, you saw the Brian Burns video. You heard Dexter Lawrence when Rana, I think it was Rana, asked Dexter Lawrence sat there, looked at the camera for like 3 full seconds. It was like, hey, I don't know. It's the coaching. Like he was dejected. He seemed very upset. And how could you not be? But there was also players who were like, yo, this is on us. Like we need to, like Brian Burns was like, yeah, people are going to blame Dave. Don't blame Dave. Like this is on us. Like we need to, and I completely respect, you know, the leader in the locker room doing that. But yeah, this is it's tough, man. It's a brutal loss.
Yeah, it's just the worst loss since the Deshaun game for me. And it's not worse than that. That was the worst thing I've ever experienced as a fan, honestly. I remember being in college and having to write a final paper after that. My friend, shout out Brett. We watched that game. I like literally just went face planted into the couch after it for like a good 30 minutes and rolled over to the stacks at in Wisconsin. For those who went there, they might know if anyone's listening, and then wrote a paper, which is, by the way, a horrific final paper. I think I got like a D or something on it. Not that I cared. I was like a senior in college, but point being, that was the worst loss since then, for sure. This, at least the feeling of it to me, because I really felt like the Giants were onto something when they dominated the Broncos in this game. Like after dominating the Eagles and doing this, it's like, all right, like we'll be 3-4. We may still not make the playoffs because our schedule is just loaded with these tough games. But we're going to be competitive as hell in every single game, and we might just find a way into the playoffs. And if we do, and this was if they were going to beat the Broncos, if we do, then I think we could make some noise even potentially. But the way that this, like we have talent, I think we have talent on this team, and I think Jackson Dart's playing good football. But it doesn't matter because they're a poorly coached team and they find ways to lose games like this. So none of it even matters.
Yep, they just can't close it out, and that's a sign of a poorly coached football team, as we've said for weeks at this point. And you're right, man. Like a 30-point game on the road against the number 1 ranked defense.
Yep,
and you find a way to blow it, giving up 33 points it's just only the New York Giants, man. Do you want to get into some of these soups?
Let me just correct one stat I said earlier. Koo is 108 out of 111 since 2021 on his extra points. So he has only missed 3, Koo, but he only had 111 attempts. I think it said 120. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Damn, I cannot believe he missed that second. When he missed that second one, I'm like, oh, this is so a loss. This is going to be
the way,
a loss, man.
Yeah, it's just like, well, I really thought they might.
You thought they would stop? No, I thought it was done after that, dude. I'm like, I've seen this script before with the Shane Bowen coach defense. They're going like Bo Nix is going to hit somebody over. Yep.
Yeah, I just thought he'd change his ways, but we already tried this against Dallas, Bowen, and it didn't work. Why are we trying the same thing again? You know what they say, Nick, about the definition of crazy.
Yes.
What is it again? I don't know. I just put that out there hoping you would finish that.
Insanity. You do the same
insanity.
Thing
that
over
one.
again
Yeah.
And expect different results.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Dude,
I also have this stat which I want to throw before we get to some supers. Just so frustrating for me. This was from October 18th. This is from yesterday. I remember I bookmarked this because I was going to come back to it if the Giants won the game. And then for a while, it looked like they would. Another shout out, WBG84. If the Giants had beaten the Broncos, quarterback Jackson Dart would become the first rookie quarterback in NFL history to have at least 3 wins against teams entering the game with 2 or more wins above 500 within the quarterback's first 4 starts of his career. Like he came this close to doing that. He's beaten the Eagles, the Chargers, two good teams, and then almost beat the Broncos in Denver, but couldn't do it, I guess.
Well, no. Snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, right?
Classic bullshit that we go through.
I know it seems like it, man. It's just it's right
So
there for us,
exhausting.
and this is what has marred the Brian Dable era, right? Is this? I mean, first off, it was just inept football, right? But now that the Giants actually have some excitement around them and they can push teams, it's closing the deal, it's sealing the deal. It's when the Giants beat the Eagles, we were like, wow, they did it, right? And then they put themselves, and again, it almost seems like the Murphy's Law thing. I feel like we're stuck back in the 2024 season where everything's going to go wrong. It's like, wow, they gave us this Eagles thing. And now look, man, you start thinking, man, are we going to make the playoffs? Like, this is crazy. This team has changed. We're beating up the Broncos 19-0. This is awesome. We're on the road. And then the next thing,
it should have been, yeah.
Yep. And then the next thing you know, man, they find a way to shoot themselves in the foot once again. And now that low is even lower than I thought was possible before, bro. You know,
it is even lower. They made it even worse. And I think some fans were like, I saw some fans being like, oh, just I wish we were just the Jets. At least the Jets give you no hope and you lose. I actually don't agree with that. The no hope thing to me is way, way worse than this. I've gone through some no hope seasons covering this Giants team. And by no hope, I mean just there's nothing I can really count on moving forward with this team. That is totally different field than this one. This team is a team that's fighting and dominating at times against really good teams, but just too stupid to win a lot of these games. But Dart looks good to me. And there are some really good, we're going to go over the tape and kind of see if that's true or not. And I think it will be true, but I thought he looked really good in this game.
He's finding open receivers, man. Like he's seeing the field, right? Like he's going to make his mistakes. He's a freaking rookie, dude. But like, the
Bellinger touchdown is like big time for me. Cause it's like, not only did you manipulate the pocket to create that time, more importantly, like a lot of quarterbacks, they can do that part, but then they can't keep their eyes downfield and have an idea of where players are. He always seems to keep keeping his eyes downfield.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And some of those throws, the Wandale, like to the corner on that deep corner route, like
that was a great throw.
Yeah, he maximized Wandale Robinson's limited catch radius.
I was gonna say, like, I know, seriously. I was like, how the heck did he get that there to Wandale Robinson? You got nowhere to throw the football. Your window is like this.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy.
Don't even go there.
Yeah, no. We're gonna overlook it right now. And we'll get to some of these bad boys.
I just saw the curb. I just need to bring this up real quick. I just saw one of the best clips. I sent it to my friend. I think I sent it to you too. And it's just like whenever it comes up, he knows exactly. It's the curb clip of where the Larry David. It's the Richard Lewis episode where he needs a kidney, and the nurse watching just like, I did go out with Jeff, but. And then it's like, really? I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to spoil it. But
it's a great bit. You did send me that, by the way.
All right.
Yes, sir. We got a couple from Mr. Man. Hey, really appreciate it, buddy. He says, a soul-crushing loss. When Banks was put in, I had a horrible pit in my stomach. It'd be bad. Sure enough, big pass, big run. I bet the all-22 will show he had way too much to do with this loss. Yeah, I'm not going to – I mean – I think so. From what I've seen, I think he was
on a per play basis. He certainly,
he was a net negative for sure. It depends on how we want to quantify. Like I think there was just like the Giants just laid like a foundation of bricks down towards like Loserville, right? Like they just kept just freaking putting bricks down, and he was a big brick in that, but he wasn't the biggest brick in that. It was any time you have Deonte Banks on the football field, you need to be cognizant of the fact that you're playing basically with 10 men on versus the run. He's not going to execute his run fit correctly. And he is an outside cornerback. He's going to be the contained defender a lot of the time. He doesn't,
especially because they know they can do that since he's going to mess it up
all over the tape. And again, I've said this on previous shows. It is what it is. He seems to be scared of he doesn't like contact, it seems like. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you play defense in the NFL, you need to want and be able to take and provide contact. And for whatever reason, he just seems unwilling and always runs himself out of his run responsibility, which is inexcusable.
You're 100% right, Nick. I will say this. I would warn Giants fans, if the idea was let's just cut Banks, like what's he worth at this point, or trade him for nothing, I actually do think it could get worse if Adebo is forced to miss time. I actually would rather personally, I know this is a tough pill to swallow for fans, and it's not going to be a popular take, but I'd personally rather Banks on the field than anyone they have behind him, me personally. I just think the players that they have behind him on this roster would be a massive liability in pass coverage. I understand Banks is killing us in the run game, but I just can't throw on some of these guys in good faith in pass coverage and be like, well, they're getting burned every play and they're getting targeted every play. Banks at least has a semblance of ability to play coverage, in my opinion.
Yeah, he does. For sure. He's at least in phase. He just has no location ability. And it seems like Drew Phillips is starting to work his way into that same camp when it comes to locating the football in the air. Isser also says time management again. Why not try to burn more clock late? Horrible. Run the ball. So many great plays. Effort wasted again. Yeah. I mean, you might have a different take on this. I agree. When the Giants had the double-digit lead, as I said earlier in the podcast, I think it was definitely waste that time out, punt the football back, have them drive the length of the field to try and score or get the field goal to make it a one-possession game. By that time is going to be moving, and you have the added opportunity of possibly stopping them on four downs and getting the football back with better field position. But I also look. You're aggressive. You want to throw the football there. You're trusting your rookie quarterback, but in doing that, mistakes can happen. And unfortunately it did there.
Yeah. And I totally understand your point. We went over this already, but I also think if you want to go that route and say, I'm trusting my rookie quarterback, which in my opinion, you should, based on how the game played out before that possession, let him throw on first down. You don't need to go into this dumbass run mode where you're just tipping off a run.
It's all about wasting the time out. So like that's
well, then throw a quick hitting. Like they can get anything to there's so many safe throws in the NFL that I feel like a lot of these coaches like don't believe in the safety of some of these throws in these spots that are, in my mind, much better chance than running right up the middle when it's so obvious.
Chase, thank you so much. Bud said, need to get Dable out of here. Don't care what happens rest of the year. This happens way too much. It does, man. It's insane. Yeah. It's insane how many times. And look, again, what's the percentage of games, excuse me, sorry, that the Giants ever have a lead, Dan? And it seems like the Giants, when they do have a lead, when do they ever close the deal? It doesn't seem like it's that often, but they do have the lead. They freaking end up blowing it. And it's just like, oh,
they close it sometimes, like the Eagles game last week. They closed it. They had a lead and they closed it. And they did it by running. No, I know. But I'm just saying my point was just they did it by running the football, which I'm totally fine with. I get it. But by that point, like it was such a different scenario, in my opinion. The Eagles had not given up on the game, but it really felt like they were getting out physicaled and they didn't want to hit on that series. The Broncos were set up to stop the run and they wanted to hit and they were ready to stop the run. And they did. The Giants got a total of 7 yards on 4 rushing attempts on those last 2 possessions when they went run, pass, run, pass. You're muted, I think.
I would need to pull it up. But yeah,
it was 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 8. So they got 5 yards on 4 plays.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, 8 yards
7.
on 4 plays.
Yeah.
7, sorry. Exactly. No one knows how to do math at this point. By no one, I mean me.
Sorry, I'm all congested and coughing and stuff. And burping. Sai, thank you so much. Being a fan of this team is just getting kicked in the balls over and over. Yeah, it does seem
that feels like it.
It's painful. It doesn't feel good, right? It's not something that any of us want.
It's also exhausting.
Very exhausting. Very exhausting. Barry Gooster, thank you so much. Bud said, F Shane for not valuing the kicker position. The game was lost for many reasons, but Deonte Banks is a war criminal. I hate this for Dart. Yeah, I hate it for Dart.
I hate it for Dart. I hate it for Burns. I hate it for Dex the most.
Yeah, Kayvon as well. Kayvon took a bad penalty on that 1 3rd and 5.
Yeah,
and jumped off sides, just a little bit too eager there. But dude, the sign of respect that the Giants defense received from Sean Payton and the Broncos offense with that initial game plan. It's just like, dude, I'm just going to slow down this pass rush and just get the football out of Bo Nix's hand in a second. Like,
that's kind of what they've done all year, though, because they don't trust him. I don't know if they trust him to operate a drop back pass.
But like a lot of teams have kind of done that against this Giants defense. This Giants defense like commands respect, mostly because of this pass rush.
True.
But again, man, if Debo's not there, that's a bad loss.
Yeah, that was what my dad was saying today watching the Bears. He's like, how are the Bears getting all this pressure and sacking Rattler and we couldn't get – I'm like, well, you know why. It's because the Saints just designed to get the ball out of Rattler's hands over and over and over again, which is more the reason why you shouldn't have been playing the design of defense that Bowen was playing. But I digress.
Igor, thank you so much. Why is Koo not kicking instead of some no-name? Yeah, I don't know.
Apparently he was worse at practice. That's all we know.
I'm sure he will be kicking, unless the Giants bring somebody else in. It's just
God forbid you play a kicker who's done it for years.
The fiasco that is the Giants kicking situation. It's insane, man. It's crazy. And it's been like this for like 12 years. Like when you think about like if you go back to like the Josh Brown situation, there's just a lot of weird stuff with like the Giants kickers, right? And now it's just
Yes.
ineptitude. Now it's just the kickers losing football games for the team when the Giants are in position to win, and the Giants having to completely rearrange their entire philosophy and how they want to attack a team based on the fact that they can't kick field goals or their kicker cannot kick field goals. Like Jude McAtamney, I think is
extra points.
Or extra points. I think his furthest field goal was 31 yards through 3 games, right? Like, and they were in field goal position for one of the punts, but it would have been a longer field goal and they didn't trust him. But the one reason why this guy is here is because he has his big legs. So it's like, if you can't trust this guy, why are you promoting it? Is it like, I do wonder, and I don't know, is it a money thing? Do you not want to give some more, like how much does it cost to elevate Koo relative to what it would cost to put the international pathway program guy onto the roster?
I don't a very good question.
I don't know if there might not be a difference, but I'm just,
I don't know either. All I do know is that other teams have gone through this situation this year. The Niners needed to find a new kicker. They signed Eddie Pinheiro because he's done it before, and Eddie Pinheiro has been great since they signed him. The Bears not the Bears, whoever the hell, I think it was the Bears, signed Jake Moody, who was cut by the Niners. Remember Jake Moody? Oh, here, this is the same situation as Koo. We can't play Koo. He's been bad this year. The Falcons cut him for a reason. The 49ers cut Moody for a reason. Moody's been fine because he's done it before. He's been in big games, and he's kicked in the NFL. Jude is somebody who they had here working with the program. They're like, now it's time. This is how it goes. He spent his time here, and now we let him have a chance. No, you don't let him have a chance. You put somebody in there who's proven he can do it at the NFL level. That's how you do it as a GM or a coach, whoever makes a decision.
Do you like the Beatles, by the way?
I had a take earlier this week that I do find them to be a little bit of an overrated band.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, this had nothing to do with that. This is from the Hey Jude thing.
Yeah, it has everything to do with Jude McAtamney's name and nothing to do with your take. I didn't even know you had a take. Dude, I
think they're great. I think they're great. I would call them closer to top 20 band than the top band of all time.
I mean, that's
mostly because I just don't think they're very great at the instruments. I think they're great at melody. They're great at harmonizing. They're great at writing. The songs are great. They have some songs with great instruments, but for the most part, not great guitar. Ringo's very overrated on the drummer front. Very overrated on the drummer front. And we'll just end it there because this is a bad take that people hate.
This is gonna circle back next mail. Beatles stands, circle back next mail.
Top 20. Please. I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't think they're elite.
Gotcha. Clarence, thank you so much. Forget trading for a wide receiver. The secondary is what really needs a boost, especially if Adebo misses time. Can't put Deonte Banks out there at all. Yeah, no, the secondary is a problem. We figured it would be if the Giants suffered one injury. Again, we'll wait on to see what's going on with Adebo. And then as for the wide receiver, I don't know if this devastating loss changes anything. If they're going to trade for wide receiver, if any of that is just smoke anyways, right? The Darius Slayton should be back soon, hopefully. And that's probably what the Giants.
I would not be trading for a wide receiver at 2 and 5. I would draft picks at 2 and 5. That's an insane.
Neither would I,
unless an idea.
Like I was thinking of it more so from the perspective of like this back end, like you switch like a switch picks or something like that. Like you're not talking about Jalen Waddle. You're talking about like not even AD Mitchell. I don't think he would be up for something like that either. Kevin H, thank you. We spent a 7th on Corey Black. Now he's on the Jets, and Ryan Fitzgerald was available. Yeah, he just 12 of 13 with a 57-yard long.
Yeah, plenty of kicker issues. By the way, I see from Mike Niddle, I'm going to have to answer a lot of these real quick, Nick. Yes, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, amazing instrumental, amazing song. They are great, the Beatles, and they have great moments with their guitarists. They have great moments with the drummers. They have everything they can do, but it's just not at the level for me, like a Grateful Dead or an Allman Brothers. Those guys are playing instruments at a different level than the Beatles, in my personal opinion. I don't even really think it's close, to be quite honest, between those guys from playing it, just the playing instrument standpoint. But I digress.
Let's go.
End it at that because this is too much.
Yes. Matt Livingston, thank you so much. This has to at least put firing Bowen on the table, right? Such a total embarrassing collapse for the nth time. I feel bad for Dart. He played a great game, but all anyone will focus on is one. Yeah, that's one thing I do hate for Dart.
That's what we were saying. Yep.
And he's going to put that, and he'll learn from that. And look, I came away super enthused with Jackson Dart, and I'm excited about Jackson Dart's future. And I know there are going to be mistakes because he is a rookie, and that's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know if the Giants are going to fire Shane Bowen because you have a quick week. You have to play the Philadelphia Eagles. You really want a new deep, and the Giants just beat the Philadelphia Eagles last week. Shane Bowen was the defensive coordinator for that, so don't think that's going to happen. I think his leash is entirely too short right now, which is a good thing because he's not a good defensive coordinator. But I don't even know what the Giants would do if you get rid of him, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know either.
like
They don't really have much options. I mean, I'd be better off. I'd be happier letting the defense pick their plays. Brian Burns would have picked when they wouldn't have rushed 3 and dropped 8, and they wouldn't have had Dexter Lawrence off the field. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I can't believe that Dexter Lawrence quote. I'm honestly disgusted by it. Really appalled by it. I don't know who makes it. What happens there? But what is Bowen doing with that personnel package? Are you fucking kidding me? Nick Jones and Bo Braid on the field? Are you fucking kidding me? It's disgusting.
It really is. And I'm sure that the offensive line of the Denver Broncos said, they were like, oh, 97's not on the field.
Yeah. Right. Why would that ever be the case in a must-have it play?
What dope made this decision? Like, that's just insane. Marcus Creed, thank you so much, buddy. Says, if you told me Dart would throw for almost 300 with 4 total touchdowns, AT shuts out elite pass rusher Nick Benito, and we pitched a shutout through 3 quarters, I'd tell you we're stealing the division. Traumatic, unforgivable loss. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well said. That's exactly what I felt. Yep.
Spot on. There are so many ways, Dan, that we could carve up this loss and then frame it from a perspective that if you showed it to somebody who didn't know, they'd be like, oh, the Giants won that football game. Like, so many ways that you could do that, right? But they didn't. They freaking lost.
The Giants don't collapse in this game, even with the dumb Saints loss, Nick. They would be getting to a point this next week where if they beat the Eagles again, they're 1 game behind the Eagles in the division, and they have the tiebreaker over the Eagles if it comes down to it. In the end, they would have been 4-4 at that point, or they would have been 4-4. The Eagles would have been 5-3, and Dallas and we know that Washington's in collapse mode right now. Jaden's hurt again. They do not look good. Both the receivers are hurt. They've lost 3 games in a row, and they have the Chiefs and I think Lions coming up, those Commanders. So they're in trouble. Like, this was open for the Giants, man. This was possible, and it's not like we're looking at it like, oh, the Giants could have won this game to get to 3-4, but it was stupid, right? They were losing the whole game, and then just like they got lucky at the end and won a game. They dominated the whole game, looked like a great football team, and then blew the game with an epic collapse. It's so unfortunate, man.
Really is. Kevin H., thank you. I can't watch any more Deontay Banks in a New York Giant jersey. Did you guys see Burns after the game? Bowen has lost his defense, possibly in season fire. Possible in season fire. I don't think it's going to happen now, but I can definitely see it happening in if the season is lost, maybe a little bit later. But the bye week's not until week 14. They already had their Thursday game, so it's a little bit difficult to say. And I think I don't think this defense ever really like fully bought into Bowen, right? Like, that's not saying that they're not trying their hardest or anything like that, but I think they understand that Shane Bowen is not the guy to maximize this unit. I think that's one of the reasons why they're like, we need to have these meetings. We need to talk to him, and we need to be like, you need to listen to us. All right. You need to trust us. You need to really value our input. And credit to Shane Bowen that he did that against the last week in the win against the team that's giant. It slipped my mind, the Philadelphia Eagles. But now, like, I think it's right back to like this guy like is not it, right? And I think that's like kind of the foundation of the belief of this New York Giants defense to begin with.
Yeah, I think that's how they operate. Like they believe in him. I mean, just given the post game comments, I don't think they want to play this style of defense. And I don't think they need to play this style of defense. Look, I get it. This is how he coordinates the defense. This is philosophy, and there's some merit to the idea of it in today's NFL. But there's also some merit to the idea of there's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL. And there's a lot of mediocre quarterbacks in the NFL. Then there's a couple great ones and maybe some good ones. Not many. I'd say 66% are in the medium to bad range. Bo Nix, in my personal opinion, from watching the tape, and I watched a lot of his tape this year for Beyond the Box Score, is in the medium to bad range, maybe medium. Those are the types of quarterbacks you don't need to drop 8 against. What you need to do against those quarterbacks is put guys on the line of scrimmage, simulate pressures or send pressures, and force them to get their clock sped up for the entire game and make them make that throw in single coverage downfield because they're not going to locate that football a lot because they're medium to bad quarterbacks.
Which we saw a decent amount in this game.
Right. Too, he missed a lot of throws down the field, man.
Yeah. And the Giants. Yeah, exactly. No, and it's not like Bo Nix was diming up this Giants team until it really mattered at that very end. And that was when, ironically enough, the Giants dropped 8.
That was the first big play they gave of the game when they did the drop 8 play.
It's tough, man. Wait, Matt Livingston, sorry, almost skipped you. Was at the game. Dart has an aura of calm and just a I'll figure it out vibe on every play where he just moves around and looks for a solution. That's valuable insight there. And it
Yeah,
does
thank you.
that is
He did
transparent
take
on the
one, finally
television as
took
well.
one bad sack, I thought, that kid that took him out of field goal range. The first time I felt like since he got the nod to be the starter, he
Yeah.
didn't, he gave them a negative, like tried to do too much and didn't.
And to be honest, that was a pretty consequential play because it
Of
did
course.
knock him out of the field goal range. And the Giants did have an automatic kicker on the sideline.
Yeah. With that said, who knows if they were even in field goal range at that
Exactly.
point with this idiot out there.
Exactly. But you don't want
Sorry
to
to call him an idiot again. I'm sorry, Jude. You're a normal guy, but I'm very angry.
You're frustrated.
Right now.
You're
frustrated with this whole team.
I get it. Clarence feels like the Giants finally have the talent to win. They just need the right head coach and general manager to take them to the next level. Yeah, no, they're a talented roster. But they do have holes on the roster as well, as we've discussed. They literally do not have a wide receiver behind Wan'Dale Robinson right now that anybody can trust. And Tay Banks is someone they spent a first round pick on, traded up in the first round to get, and he's horrible out there. And there's no one behind Cordell Flott that I can trust in the secondary.
That's the problem.
And I mean, Dane Belton, I think Dane Belton is fine if Javon Holland is out for an extended period of time, but we know he has some issues as well, fitting the run sometimes. But that was an excellent play by Dane Belton against Cortland Sutton on that quick screen. There were so many plays like that, Dan, throughout the game, man.
Cordell Flott had like 3 unreal plays in this game.
We had that as well, like just the PBU. We punched it out on the sidelines. I think I was against Marvin Mims. We had a screen touchdown, Dan. When the hell did the Giants ever have a screen touchdown?
Such a patient run by Scadaboo on that screen touchdown too. And it was such a great call by Kafka. Like third and long goal situations, you can almost never get anything going when you drop back. I watch so many. How many snaps do you watch on Red Zone that week where the quarterback's kind of just nothing, and then he just throw a screen there? It's like your only chance of like actually, scoring a touchdown. Yeah, I don't know what I did right there. It's the only chance of actually scoring a touchdown right there.
And then Wan'Dale too. Like Wan'Dale had like how many runs in space did he have? Where it's like he wasn't getting the first down, but his vision and his spatial awareness allowed him to figure out how to get the first down. Like that happened, I think, twice in this game.
33 freaking points in this game.
I know.
How do you lose that game against the Broncos defense? Like it should be a recipe for easily winning. Winning.
Igor, thank you so much, bud. Says Shane Bowen or Bill Sheridan for worst Giants DC. That is
Bill Sheridan was pretty much before my time, so I've just heard his name a lot.
I think that was high school, wasn't it?
Bill Sheridan was definitely not our high school.
Yeah, dude, that was. I think he was there for one season. I was in the Marines, actually. I think.
Was he there when I? There's no freaking way Bill Sheridan was there.
That was like 2000 and 2010.
He was there. No, he was just 2009. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Why did I think he was?
I missed that season, but I remember he was bad. I don't
even remember that. That's crazy.
So it's probably Shane Bowen. No, I don't know. Either way.
Why did I think it was Spags and Fuel? I guess it was Spags and Sheridan for a season and then Fuel.
Yes, I believe that is.
Anyway, I just blocked that out of my memory. That was so bad. I just viewed him as like one of those old school coordinators. Like, who was Ray Hanley was the guy my dad always talks about. That was a bad one, but he was head coach.
Yeah, he was head.
But yeah.
Matt, thank you so much. What the F was going for 2 up 19-0, not extra point for up 3 touchdowns?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I said it at the time. It was an insanely idiotic decision that I hope they asked Dable about, because you're right, Matt. If they had kicked the extra point at 19-0, go to 20-0, the Broncos cannot then score 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions and a field goal to tie it. It would have made it a long, like, it made no sense there at that point. I think they were just like, well, this guy missed 1 extra point. Let's just try to get it back real quick.
Yeah. Or maybe they just didn't trust him to kick another extra point, which is a whole nother thing.
That's just
like, oh my God. Yeah, no, exactly. We had to at that point, I guess, but it's like, how do you just keep finding yourself
2 extra points in a game? I mean,
how do you miss 2 extra points exactly, man?
In Mile High, the air is thin. You should be able to blast the football. Just place it, like push the ball.
I know, dude. It's something. Very Gooser, thank you. Stop coaching not to lose, because spoiler alert, you often end up losing.
Right.
Yes,
I'm with you on that, Gooster.
We did end up losing that game. Kevin H, why does the team lose momentum so fast under Dable?
Good point. I don't know.
They had the momentum, and then they just zapped, gone. Igor, thank you. I've been a fan since 2001. Fossil and Coughlin blew enough of these games too. Coaches are all cowards. Interesting. That was before our time. I do remember a lot of losses from my childhood with Coughlin and me being like, I don't like that guy. And then we won a Super Bowl and I was
I'm
like,
sure it
oh,
does happen. Like to his point, I'm sure it does
it
happen a
does.
lot
Yeah.
more than we give it credit for some of the good coaches as well. But man, it seems like with Dable, it's just always in this mode.
I agree. It does. And we've had a lot more losing than winning since Dable has become this head coach too. And that doesn't help his case at all. Matt Peliquin, thank you, buddy. He says, brutal, absolute gut punch, poor defense in the fourth, bad kicking game, and mismanagement from the front office to the coaching staff. Bangs thumbs down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's right.
Kevin H., I agree with both of you. Just pick one. If you're going to run clock, do it, but don't pass on third. Yeah, no, that's a good point too. You commit to it or I get what you're saying.
Or just run your regular offense from the jump. Yeah, exactly.
Clarence, thank you. Giants would be contenders with Sean Payton as head coach.
I think maybe contenders to a lot of different people as head coach and defensive coordinator right now.
Probably. Ronald.
That's the most annoying part to say that, Nick, if you do actually believe that. And I actually do believe that. By contenders, I mean for the playoffs. Let me be clear.
Yeah. We have a rookie quarterback.
Right.
Ronald, what's up?
No, I believe that.
Gano's been hurt 2 other seasons, plenty of time. We have had plenty of time to address kicker, a warm body that can make 30. Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
It's inexcusable at this
point. And other teams have done it. And the Bears have done it this year and the 49ers have done it this year. We seem to be the only team that can't figure out how to do it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Dan, I hear you about the aggressive late. I'd play end game like Nick, run, pin them deep, let them dink dunk, but the Giants don't do either. They try both, choose a strategy, pick a lane.
Yeah.
Thank you, Isser. Anthony, thank you. Not much to say. Couldn't watch Sunday night game. Can't enjoy 2 Monday night games next week. Philly game, hard to get up for right now. No problem throwing on third down. Please, game over.
Yeah, I even and on the last part we've gone over it a bunch, but I do agree with you on the first part. Like I had trouble. I had so much fantasy implications, so I watched it, but I had trouble watching tonight's game. And I'm probably just so uninterested in football right now.
Yeah, same here. And it's our job, so it's unfortunate because I'll be up early watching that all 22. Yeah, and that sucks. Isser, thank you. Kafka seems to call games much better than Dave's.
I think so. I've said this for a while.
Right now. Yeah, they're scoring right now. I think a lot of I think what Kafka's doing with the 12 personnel is unique and it's effective, right? And Daniel Bellinger being the receiver that he is also leads to I think some success. Theo Johnson is still frustrating, but he had a long touchdown in this one, which was excellent off of a tipped pass. And it was at that moment, and we brought this up a little earlier, where I was like, wow, this is what it's like to be a football team where things are going right, you know? Like when it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. That's like negative, right? Negative connotation. But when when it shines, it glows, right? Like when the sun is shining, like everything seems great and dandy. And that's exactly how I felt. And I thought that was the dagger. And then I remembered quickly that I root for the New York Giants, and it's just never over. Just never over.
Somehow never over.
Ronald, thank you. Could Neal punt, play, prevent, and win? Sad. Thank you, Ronald. WJ,
he might be right.
Why is Burns the only one outpacing the whole defensive line? Like, where's Carter, Tibbs, and Dex at? I mean, I saw a lot of
Tibbs has played very well this year.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Dex and Tibbs.
Well, Carter has done a ton of pressure. He just hasn't got a sack. He actually did get a sack this game, but they called it back.
Excuse me.
Penalty.
Ronald, thank you so much, bud. The management of this roster game had so many misfires. It's criminal, from the kicker to the clock to the play calling to the defensive strategy. Bowen is always unprepared for this. Yeah, Bowen is not good.
It just feels like he's always unprepared for these situations and how to, actually win these games. Like close the game out. Close it out, not by dropping 8 and putting in Bo Braid and Nick Jones and taking out Dexter Lawrence.
Bo Braid and Nick Jones were like, who, me? Like, you're putting me in? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Joey Green, thank you. Thanks you so much, guys. Love the F-bombs, Dan. Watch every week. Yeah, we appreciate you watching.
I appreciate you appreciating the rants, but I wish we could just be 5-2 and have just a fun-ass team to cover.
That would be the best, man. Igor, thank you. My fear with Dart is that a knock against him with the Florida game where he threw picks, and I hope he doesn't make this a habit. That Florida game was tough, and he threw it right to Justice Trinad, and it was a simulated pressure. Everything that I've seen from Dart so far as a professional would suggest that he would learn from these types of mistakes. He doesn't seem rattled by it. Like when I watched Jackson Dart in this game, even when he was under pressure and he took that sack, I wasn't like, man, he looks overwhelmed, man. You know, like you see like some guys out there, they're just like, they look like very scared. I don't get that impression from Jackson Dart at all.
I completely agree with that take. I thought he had a really good game besides the interception. And even that last drive, which I would say is probably also the not so good aspect of his game when he was kind of chucking it up. And it's like, what do you expect? He had like 50 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, no. What do you want him to do? And it ended up working out because the Giants ended up getting a kind of a ticky-tacky PI, right? And then they ended up also getting an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, a roughing the passer. Like literally, Denver.
I know.
Denver was like, "Here, Giants, you can have the game." You know, we came back, but just take. I know. You can have it. You can have it back. Oh no. It was like that old annoying commercial with that fisherman who was like, "Oh, you almost have it. You got to be."
But then we became that fisherman. I know you're talking about that dollar bill. We became that fisherman because now we gave it back then by missing an extra point and by scoring that early. I kind of felt like we should have done it. And I don't know what you got to score, I guess, there. But
it's the number one red zone defense. You have to score there, and you have to
what you can get.
You have to just trust your defense. Like you do have a defensive coordinator, unfortunately, right? But you do have a defensive coordinator. You have to trust that he's going to figure it out, even though he tends to fail in those situations, other than the Chargers game.
Yeah.
WJ, thank you. Can we talk about how soft this defense is in the clutch when the last time we had a clutch sack, interception, fumble? We just don't make plays in the clutch. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was they lost two important players to the defense, and they were gassed in the Mile High. Like it's part of the game. When you're playing in that altitude, it's going to come back at some point. It's why you want to build such a big lead like they built, but they just somehow managed to find a way to lose this game. It's really what it is.
They did. Ronald, thank you so much. We are getting a lot out of players. Even reserves and backups are playing above the X's and O's, which makes their wasted efforts hurt even more.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
As would I. Marcus, thank you. One more thing. Bowen must be unemployed tomorrow. I trust either of you to manage ends of games more than him. Today was the football equivalent of a capital offense. He has to go. Yeah. I don't think they should fire him after this just because of the Eagles next week. And he already planned but I tend to agree with your overall point, Marcus, that he should be gone sooner rather than later. And this was a hire they didn't want to make to begin with, Dan.
Yeah.
This is a hire.
It's not like firing him in season is going to lead to any kind of crazy turnaround for this defense, though. Like in these spots, like who's even going to call the games? Dude, is that person that we promote going to have any experience calling games? Like it's not a good situation to fire anyone in season, in my opinion. But they obviously have to consider it because he sucks. So it's just a bad spot to be in.
Yeah, and how many defensive coordinators, like how many coaches are you cycling through if you're Brian Daboll too? Like this is how many other more people can you blame? Even though I would agree, like this guy is bad, but you're still the head guy here. Jake Andrews, thank you. A kicker who's missed extra points 2 straight weeks on the 1 yard line, timeout in hand. Defense has given you no reason to be confident. You have to run clock there. Take one knee, just one knee. Waste play. Oh, so you're talking about when
he's talking about before the Dart touchdown. I don't know about taking a knee, though. I'm not totally against this, to be completely honest. Not a knee, but maybe like a snap, because they were at the 1, like a snap, fall on the ball at the 1, or push toward, like dive toward just that goal line. So you set up a second and goal from like the half-inch line. Because I do think even against that defense, they would have converted that, but it's risky, and I get it.
Yeah. I mean, Dart hardly got in, but that was an excellent effort on him too, to like stretch and keep his legs from not hitting. Isser, thank you so much. Loved Belton goal line play. Old school. Yeah, that was a physical play by Dane.
Yeah, that was an old school Giants play. That was a great stick by Belton.
Ronald, thank you. Bowen's players always make mental errors. They hold the hold that got Knicks in the first touchdown. We lost contained. Too many of our guys trying to make hero plays and not playing to funnel guys back inside. Yeah, they're not playing the funnel guys back. It's just that's simple defense 101. And it's like Tay Banks is always, you don't see Cordell Flott doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's a Tay Banks thing. And it's we've talked about it a lot recently. He's just a liability out there when it comes to run defense. Morgan, thank you so much. Our goal should be to not screw up Dart this year. We should still get a wide receiver and then pick up a round 1 pick, get Neighbors back, and swap out these coaches.
Pick up a round pick, 1 pick from where?
Like are you saying round 1 pick from like a wide receiver spending
I don't know what you're saying, but thank you, Morgan. I appreciate the donation.
I do as well. Igor, appreciate it. big picture, I'd rather lose this game like this with Dart balling than win 13-10
Yes,
with Dart struggling.
I
That's great.
completely agree with that. And he's balling out right now, Dart, with 283 and some probably over 300 with the rushing, 283 passing with nobody out, like Humphrey running routes, right? Like it's insane at this point.
I agree with the overall message, but I would take the win still at this point.
Then win. He said then win 13-10. No, I actually totally disagree with what I first said. I would rather have the win.
Yeah, and everyone would understand if Dart. That's the thing that's like if the Giants did win this game 13, everyone would understand if Dart struggled in this game. He's the number one defense. Everybody has basically struggled against them, but Dart lit them up, dude. Everyone should be talking about Jackson Dart in the New York Giants right now, and they are.
Would have.
But not for the reasons that they should be, right? If they could just figure out a way to win this freaking football game, everyone would be talking about Jackson Dart, Rookie of the Year, and all this kind of shit. And it would be awesome. And there'd be so much great publicity with the New York Giants. But instead, they had a catastrophic meltdown and they lost in the final 6 minutes of the game. It's wild, man. Jake, thank you so much, man. This is a team that figures out ways, figures out ways to lose. Rabbits out of the hat, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. It won't stop as long as Dable Shane are here, and they'll be back next year. So strap in. I'm not sure if they'll be back next year, but possibly.
Yeah, but I'm not at all sure they'll be back next year.
But we appreciate it, Jake. Isser, thank you. Milwaukee Badgers folded in 1926, went broke after $500 fine from the NFL for playing 4 high school. You said, dude, how do you know that is some awesome nuggets right there, man? That's really funny.
Are you saying we're in the same company now? No. Well, actually, yeah, by that stat, we are one of 4 teams to allow 33 plus in the fourth quarter. So we are one of those. We are in the same company as this Milwaukee Badgers team. Sad thing is the Milwaukee Badgers are somehow not the worst Badgers right now. Those Wisconsin Badgers are.
Oh, that's funny. Dude, almost
funny,
a 99-year
life.
Dude, oh yeah, that is true. Do you have any team? Are you doing well in the golf course? Talk about golf. Do you want to talk about golf, Dan?
We're not going to talk about golf today.
Anthony Monaco,
and I don't appreciate how you just kind of talk to me like you would talk to Phoenix. That felt like a Phoenix kind of comment.
That was
Phoenix talk.
You seemed rather melancholy, and I was like, let me help my buddy out.
Go for a little treat. You got to go for a walk. You can get a treat, Phoenix. I don't need a treat right now. I get nothing in my ears. No, I get nothing. I want to sit in my misery and stew in it
and commiserate all with all of our friends here.
Deserve anything good right now?
No, you do. The Giants don't. Neither do the Wisconsin Badgers. My battery is low and it's getting dark. Mars Rover, Anthony Monaco. What do we do from here, Dan? Are we cooked? Seems like the locker room is lost.
What? It's a movie reference, I assume. It's getting dark. Mars Rover, Anthony Monaco. I don't know that reference, but what do we do here, Dan? Are we cooked? It seems like locker room is lost. Cook maybe for the season at 2-5, but Cook long term, I don't think so. I think it resets every year. I've made this take a lot, and I stand by the take. It's why I don't like the quote unquote wins that are supposedly supposed to carry over when you're in a lost season and never do. So it's just a new season every year. This one, it's not lost yet, technically at 2-5, but it's on life support.
Juan Cepeda, thank you. The fact that they can be so dominant for 3 quarters and then collapse in the fourth tells me there's an even bigger issue at hand that we aren't seeing. I think we are seeing it, Juan. I agree, but I do think we are seeing it, and it's just
coaching.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think we've seen it way too much. I think we've seen it so much that I may vomit soon. I've seen this story
we're
play
seeing
out.
It. Oh, we're seeing it.
Yeah, no,
Juan,
but
we are seeing it. You're seeing it too, Juan.
No, but maybe of course, I'm just like messing around. I think Juan might be talking about something that's going on in the locker room or something else. I'm not entirely sure, but I think we've seen a lot of inept football, and it's not necessarily all laid at the feet of the players on the field. Now, maybe 1 or 2 here, but a collective collapse can only be laid at the feet of the coaching staff at that point. Not only, I shouldn't say, it's a shared collective, obviously, but
it's everything. It's the coaching, it's the general manager, it's the regime, it's the feel around, it's the expectation for the team.
Morgan, thank you so much. What would not screwing up Dart look like? That's literally the goal of the season. Could you do a show on that topic? Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, look, they haven't really screwed him up yet.
No.
He threw for 283 against the Broncos defense in Denver, the best defense in the NFL. Like, they're doing a good job with him. There's no doubt about that, despite him having no receivers to work with.
Yeah, if you really look at the entire picture of Jackson Dart, like that's a feather in the cap of Brian Daboll right now.
Yes.
That's what he's leaning on to keep his job, because
probably.
John Mara is probably like, why'd you lose this game? And John Mara should be asking that right now, but he's going to be like, well, Jackson Dart, 285 at Denver. And hopefully we'll see some actual improvements. I know.
Right.
From the team in general. Sorry, my computer's being slow. Enzo, thank you. Any thoughts on Kayvon's performance before doing the tape? I didn't see too much of Kayvon.
Besides that penalty, yeah.
The penalty. I mean, I saw some plays in the run where he was there, but like the Broncos were getting the football out so quickly, it kind of mitigated the pass rush to where the Giants only had the 2 sacks by Brian Burns, and they kept batting balls down at the line of scrimmage, though. So the Giants, pass rushers were adapting to the quick passing attack by being like, all right, well, we're going to be a little bit tempered with our rush if we don't have initial leverage. Let me jump up, get my hands in the passing lane, and knock the football down at the line of scrimmage. I think Burns had a few. I think Roy Robertson Harris, Dexter Lawrence, and Raheem Nunez-Roches all had PBUs. Burns had, I think, 2. So it's like the Giants knocked like 5 passes down at the line of scrimmage. I don't think Kayvon did, but we'll watch him on the tape. Eric, thank you so much. Does Bowen survive? Who can we get? I mean, it's going to be somebody promoted from within if Bowen does not survive in the immediate future. And if I had to bet on anybody, it'd probably be like Dre Patterson, the defensive line coach, maybe Marquand Manuel, the cornerbacks and defensive back coach. But, I'm not sure. He's only been here for 1 year, but he's a young guy. Maybe he's somebody that the Giants could look at and be like, maybe we could get him to be one of our coordinators. It's totally different than a Dre Patterson, but it's not a great situation. Regardless. No. Nikki Fratt, thank you. Scoring 5 touchdowns and losing to a team that scored 33 points is unacceptable no matter which way you look at it. Done with Bowen as well. Yeah. 5 freaking touchdowns, man.
That's crazy.
Math. Tyler Fan, thank you. Do you think Dart's performance saves head coach or general manager?
Possibly. It depends if he keeps playing at this level. They might. But obviously it has to be, the Giants have to win some more games. Let's say go, if they only win 5 or 6 games, I don't even think that could save, even if Dart plays amazing, but they lose games like this.
Well, first, Scott Sherman, Ringo for DC. I think that's
there you go.
Yeah, Ringo. Let's do it. Thank you, Scott. And then Guy. Thank you, Guy or Guy. When y'all watch the all-22 defense, I wonder if you'll see a change in defense scheme when Adebo. I
we'll take a look at that.
I don't know if it's the scheme, but I think we definitely will see a difference in how Sean Payton wanted to attack the Giants because they just went right after Deontay Banks, it seemed like, in the run game.
Right.
Yeah. Those are all of our wait, no, we just had one sneak in. Renee Ruiz, thank you. Can you guys do a kicker eval for the a kicker evals? Yeah. Nah. 2026 draft content? Probably not, but yeah, probably not.
Jeez, I'm sure you were joking there, Renee, and thank you for donating. Thank you to everybody who did give us super chat questions tonight. That is one way to support the show. We really appreciate it, and thank you to everybody who's been active in the comment section as well. Super chat or not, that also supports the show. Please hit the like button right now if you haven't already. That's the #1 factor and #1 way you can support our show. In addition to downloading any episode you listen to on Spotify or iTunes, never just hit play, hit download, delete the download after if you'd like, but we need those downloads. So thank you so much, Nick. Anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man, ready to get into the all 22 of this epic collapse by the
hopefully some of you will join us tomorrow for the all 22. Last week was a nice week for us on the all 22. Both videos got a lot of views, a lot of interaction as well in the comments. I understand why we beat up on the Eagles. This should have been a similar one. Should have been a dominant win over the Broncos. It was until it wasn't, but we will check the tape out and tell you why. From a tape standpoint, all of this went down. So give us a chance. Check out those film reviews tomorrow on offense and defense. Other than that, have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you soon.